Today we're going to be looking at how to strip an old felt roof. It could be a small mineral finish roof like this bay roof, a nasty old extension roof like this, a standard garage roof with a loose chipping finish, an extension, or a large porch or dormer with a mineral finish. The technique is virtually the same and it can be done with the bare minimum of kit. The first thing you're going to need to do if you have any sort of grit finish like this is to remove it. It's not rocket science. Scrape all the grit into a pile, bag it up and remove it from the roof. If it's stuck down with any sort of gritting solution, you can try to scrape off as much as possible first with a small flat spade like this. Believe it or not, these handy little digging or border spades make stripping a flat roof a whole lot easier. What you're looking for is a nice small strong blade like this, not much bigger than a man's hand. And crucially, it needs to have a small curve that isn't too pronounced. This helps lift the felt, and we'll see that in action in a moment. This is the small porch flat roof that we will be stripping in this video, and I've chosen this because it has some interesting details to strip, which some of you may come across. Right, let's get started. First, make sure you're standing on a nice firm section of the roof. Pick up your stripping spade and attack one spot repetitively until you get underneath all layers of the felt and above the timber decking below. An angle of attack of around 30 to 40 degrees seems to work the best. Once inside, lever against the timber and the underside of the felt to separate the two layers. As you can see, this roof is peeling off an absolute beauty. So it's just a matter of using the stripping spade to cut off nice handleable chunks to throw into a pile for disposal later. It really is just a matter now of working your way around the roof, cutting the felt and removing it. Just be aware that by removing the felt you also remove some of its strength, especially if you're working on a rotten or wet timber like I am. So keep your head in the game and think about where you're putting your feet, or your leg could go through the roof and the ceiling below. Of course, felt doesn't always strip as nicely as this. Sometimes it can be fuller bonded with either bitumen or glue. Again, the stripping spade will strip the felt for you, it's just that progress will be a little bit slower. You're never quite sure what you're going to get when you start stripping a flat roof. This one, like most to be fair, has been very kind and I've just about removed all felt from the main roof deck. Now for the edges or perimeters, a mortar-filled chases to flashings like these may just pop out with a little bit of levering and a good strong tug. Where the mortar is halting progress, like on this roof, a stripping spade will in most cases pop out any mortar in the chase with ease. This one though is concrete hard, so it's time for a different approach. A hammer and screwdriver will usually pop out this type of mortar with very little effort, but even this proved to be difficult. In the end, I resorted to my last choice, which is an SDS drill with a chisel attachment. But if you haven't got one of these, a hammer and bolster and some elbow grease or a diamond chasing tool will do the job for you. With that done, it's back in with our best friend the stripping spade. Now it's really just a matter of lifting, chopping and levering until most of the flashings come away. Sometimes they fly off, sometimes they don't. If it's a bit tough, don't just use all the force you can muster. Respect and feel the limits of the spade. Use more than one angle of approach if you have to. With that done, remove any bits stuck to the surface of the brickwork with a bolster and hammer or a wallpaper scraper. We now have the wall flashing completely stripped. Let's move on. Next we can remove the felt flashings to the edges, and on this side we have a timber fillet creating an upstand, which the spade will just lever off. Likewise, the mineral edges to the fascia board are easy to remove with a chopping motion, and the galvanised tack nails just fly out or stay embedded in the old felt as the front edge of the spade is repetitively struck into them. Most times there's no need for a hammer or bolster, but they can be used for any awkward straggling clout nails left behind. The opposite side of the roof, no surprise, gets the exact same treatment. Again, the spade should do most, if not all of the work. Occasionally though, a sharp bolster or a sturdy stripping knife may have to be used on any upstand walls, especially if you can't get in with the spade. Now it's time to remove the last piece of felt from the front drip. Again, it's in with the spade, being very careful not to stand on any unsupported decking. Now, I know it looks like I'm standing randomly, but I can feel the support of the joists underneath my feet. Finally, we're at a stage where all the old felt roof covering has been removed, and if the timber was in good condition, you could consider refelting now. but as it's not, let's complete the strip. To remove the timber fillets, it must come as no surprise now that a stripping spade is a strong choice. Again, don't get obsessed by putting 100% effort into just one spot. Have a feel around with the spade, slowly increase the pressure and you're usually rewarded. The opposite side, however, had some enormous nails in it, so I swapped out for a large pry bar, hammered it under the fillet and popped it off. Removing the decking is then just a simple matter of finding a way in to reveal the joists. This can be hammering a flat pry bar between the edges of two abutting boards or smashing your way through some rot. But once you have that first section of board out, you can lever gently between the joists and the decking, and with a combination of stripping spade and large pry bar, it should unlock virtually any roof boards. For easy handling on the roof or for disposal, you can cut large boards down with a circular saw. Just make sure that the cutting depth of the blade is set to no greater than the thickness of the decking you're cutting through, or you risk cutting into hidden electrics or pipes that may be underneath and out of sight. Obviously you want to place a board or walking board carefully across the joist so you can work safely at the earliest opportunity. But to do that you may have to straddle the joist at some stage. Be extremely careful and cut this activity down to the bare minimum. Finally, sweep the joists clean, inspect them for grit, dirt or old nails that may be sticking proud of the joists. Once your new decking is on, you're free to fit the new roof. And here I've finished this porch in fiberglass. Well, that brings this video to a close, but if you want to know how to fiberglass a flat roof, I have links to the videos available in the iCards, description bar and here. Or if you want to compare the positives and negatives of different types of common flat roofs as I see them, why not visit the website? Well, I hope this video has proved useful. Why not like, share or subscribe for more? Thanks for watching.